Hello,
Hey,
how's it going?
it's going. So today we're going to talk about tricksters, and so people know that for me, unlike maybe someone else, I don't know, but people that don't, I know a lot of the times I talk about very peculiar, little, tiny, quirky deities that nobody's ever heard of, but they are important in understanding the large thing. So because like a lot of atheists, I would just go like Christian God or something like it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is completely fucking limited. And they go, like, oh, I know all religion. You don't. But anyway. So I wanted to address tricksters relates to me to shapeshifting.
Okay.
And shifting, I believe, comes from totemism. So I don't know when they started.
Okay.
Just to be honest, I mean, I really don't know because they could be 30,000 years old for all fuck I know. I mean, maybe they were spirits, they were tricksters, and then eventually became deities. And
Okay.
paganism started. I it's it I do think they probably were some of the first deities. Let's put it that way. Also, I told you before that I think that animals were first. Most tricksters really started as animals,
Ah.
and then eventually, got humanized. Because then, like the younger ones are humans. Sometimes they also shapeshift into animals, but often they have animals as like guardian spirits or some sort of a channel they work through or with. Like Odin,
Right.
he has two ravens, right? You've heard of that?
Yep. Yep.
A lot of people don't know is that's actually like his intellect and his ability to see the future or something. I can't remember now exactly.
Okay.
Because as much as I, do know, I actually know so much. Sometimes it just get like fucking like
Yeah.
bogged down trying to remember the shit. And also, as an anti-religionist, I hate religion.
Right.
I don't. I wish I never had to learn any of it. Seriously. So just so and also because of that, I don't want to remember. Anyways, the details. Even though I try to,
Yeah.
you know that, and
Yeah.
so I'm just making a general point. And also, as people know, I don't pronounce words good. I'm not good at spelling or grammar or math, but I am an autodidact polymath, and I am very fucking smart, and I do know a lot of stuff. But I also am willing to be challenged and willing to be shown different, including, like I told you before, I don't think you're a good thinker if you never challenge yourself.
Right.
Just don't.
Yeah.
if especially I really think people are bad thinkers when they complain like Graham Hancock all the time about poor them for being challenged. I'm like, you do get that literally is the whole goal of philosophy, right?
Right.
That you don't just accept shit that comes at you and you don't even accept shit you believe. I don't know, it's crazy. But this whole thing like critical thinking means that you're critical to thinking. You think about what's going on. You don't just well, I feel it could be true. A lot of things feel true. Just like real quick before we get into that other stuff, today somebody started attacking me because my saying, which is I try to like have big ideas, but try to also make them simple so people that don't have to learn 10,000 things to learn it.
Yep.
And my feeling is, in general, religion is a cultural product.
Right.
And how did it get everywhere? It moved in cultural migrations. Done.
Sure.
And I have a lot of reason to believe that. So someone tried to challenge me, and they're an anthropologist, but they're retired, But anyways, they're an anthropologist. You know me, I could care less if they're a second grader.
Right.
Because as a philosopher and a person who loves the truth, I don't go, oh well, because I hear, especially also we're going to talk about the Atheist Republic scumbag, Aaron, whatever, or whatever,
Yeah.
Armin, or
Armin.
whatever his name is. Because once again, also with people, if I don't like you, I don't like fill my head with understanding about you. Is
Right.
to me, I know, but that's also my sociopath thing. Is I really fucking don't like people or things or stuff. I would like I told you before. I'd be the kind of person kicking back in jacuzzi and smoke a joint and watch TV. I always talk about books. I hate fucking books, although I've read fucking hundreds of them.
Right.
And thousands to 10,000 or so articles on religion and science and and archaeology and stuff. But it's because I do that as activism, not as some personal love. Like everyone thinks I'm a nerd or I'm a whatever. No, actually, I'm not. I'm more like the guy that you're like, that fucker doesn't do shit. That's me. That's, I mean, if in other words,
That would be your preference.
that would be my preference. If
Yeah.
I didn't need to be an activist, if I didn't need to show people how beautiful anarchism is, or how ethical it is to be socialist, or how wrong religion is, if I didn't have to do that, man, I'd love that world.
Yeah.
Where I could just kick back and do me. And guess what? Then no one ever would know me. I wouldn't have, because I have no desire to be famous in a sense.
Right.
Just a good one. Anyways, I know, but it's important because it helps you to understand how I think.
Yeah.
Because how I think and how I come to my conclusions from that thinking is important.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so I had said to, as I always do, that religion is a cultural product and moved in cultural migrations. And then I said I've been studying religion since 2006, and what's also funny too is people will say harsh things to me but not do it to themselves. The person that said this to me believed that and told me, well, schizophrenia, you should read this book. Schizophrenia is where religion comes from. And I go, no, it didn't. I'm not saying it didn't have some effect, but that's clearly wrong.
Right.
And so anyways, on that note, let's read what I sent to you about that just real quick, because just to get that. No, I'm not wrong.
So they've got the challenge.
Say what they said first.
Yeah.
The challenge.
I think that one of the origins of religion is paranoid schizophrenics trying to convince rational people that their hallucinations were real. And then
I posted to them I argued about tons of stuff, and I proved them wrong and whatever. But this was me showing them that their schizophrenia thing cannot be correct.
Right. So this says you've got religious delusions and schizophrenia from Science Direct 2019. 39% had experienced religious delusions.
By the way, that's in America. Just so
okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So you could I could have wrote that, but
yeah.
I know that it's important because when you read the other names of the countries, then you understand.
Right. Yeah. So 39% had experienced religious delusions. Prevalence differs across countries and cultures and fluctuates over time. 63% Lithuania, 24% England, 21% Germany/Austria, 17% Turkey, 13% Taiwan, and 7% Japan. And then your response: I think mental illnesses are likely involved in religion to some extent or another. Still, a lot of religion to me is just looking at nature and seeing it magically or animistically, or magical thinking over reason.
Right, because this is the issue. I'm not, like I said, I wasn't actually disagreeing that mental illness is involved.
Right.
I just say that that's not why. Because we can see, the reason I bring this up, especially because I was just one article. I actually know about another one that they did where they did a test. It was like a 75-year, maybe it's 50-year or something. It's a long time test of schizophrenics because they wanted to see, because like that person thinking, it must be. Listen, I'm anti-religionist. I'd love for it just to be mental illness. I mean,
right.
It'd be
right.
fucking funny, right? Funny as hell. Me
good.
personally, love that shit. In fact,
you treat mental illness and
I kind of used to think that before I did research.
Right.
But all the research I did, I started going, man, this sure looks like fucking culture. And then, like I said, there shows you schizophrenic is also culture.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, then it can't be the reason.
Yeah, like that's something that I've done my own sort of research on this because of my family history of schizophrenia, and most delusions are influenced by the culture that surrounds them.
Correct. Oh, sorry. Yes, that's correct. And by the way, my father is also a narcissistic, schizophrenic psychopath. Just a great combination. Jeez, it's great to be a child into that fucking terror. Believe me, as you already know, I had massive abuse. Oh, what a surprise. Narcissistic, schizophrenic, psychopath. Yeah. Don't say that together and think, oh, it's going to be the greatest person.
Right.
Best father. No, not even close. Anyways, but so the study, right, as I said, it was 50 years or 75 years. It was a long time in Texas. Because, of course, that's not like it's Washington or Oregon or Canada.
Right.
About Texas. So, certainly in the Bible Belt. And they did a study and they found that the percentage went up and down like they said, but what did change with culture totally is it used to be that they had religious delusions of saving people, of
Right.
loving the world no matter what, of cutting their genitals off because they didn't want to be sexual.
Okay.
But now it turned to God wants to punish. And so they had thoughts of punishing other people and being God's will, and not so much they could still cut their own genitals off, but also to kill or harm others.
Right.
So the cultural thing of Texas, I don't know, inspires with the gun nuts and all this shit, whatever, and the hate and the bigotry actually inspires them to be schizophrenic in a religious way that is hate and bigotry.
Yeah.
Where 60 years ago, 50 years, whatever it wasn't like that. It was about helping people and trying to get, so it just shows that even if you were to say that schizophrenic had a massive impact on it, you'd have to acknowledge, well, the culture actually makes it bad.
Right. Yeah.
Not schizophrenia
right.
itself. You see what I'm saying? Schizophrenia is just a person that has this thing, a sensitivity or whatever, and then you pile them full of nonsense that's toxic as fuck. Not a shocker.
That's right.
They're toxic as fuck.
Yeah,
or
like
more prone to it.
The number of people who are experience like schizophrenic delusions that involve demons, many of them are like Catholics who have been indoctrinated with the existence of demons for their whole lives. So
exactly. I don't want to go on this because I want to talk about the other stuff. There's so much stuff to talk about. I just wanted to say that once again, I did not randomly, unreasonably come to this conclusion. In fact, as I said, as an anti-religionist, I started with more hate, really, of religion, and then kind of got less hate. And then I thought, oh, fuck, this is just culture.
Yeah, it would be, like you say, it would be nice if we could just say, okay, this was a product of mental illness, and so if we treat mental illness, we can solve this.
It's just not true.
But it's just not how it works.
Right. Yeah. So anyways, and also the secondary thing that I didn't attack that person on, but the secondary thing is actually, which is to be able to manipulate other people to believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most people don't believe the shit that schizophrenics say. So that also doesn't sound like a big, but let's just say you did. If we look at the thing, there's a thing called groupthink. Yeah, but it's how often is groupthink? Is it like 24 hours a day, every day of the week? No, not really. Does it happen like in certain events with multiple people? Maybe they're schizophrenic, or multiple people with mental illness, or multiple, and also societal pressures that are horrible. Oh yeah, we're back to culture again.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, so I'm done. Let's move on. So the second thing I wanted to show is I wanted to show how things change, which I know we already talked about before, and in relation to the picture of the hills and or mound of creation, mountains, whatever, turning into pyramids, sort of.
Okay.
So it's a blog that I'm working on. I'm not done yet. So that's a picture, but I really haven't done much. I know all these facts.
Right.
And I'm trying to put it together so other people can grasp what I am saying. It did not, it evolved, Corey. I know it's crazy. Culture evolved. And also there's little arrows, but you see going like, so I think Mesopotamia mainly influenced Egypt. But I do think that Egypt and the whole pyramid thing, I think some people think that happened because of an influence from Mesopotamia. I don't think so. If that was true, why does the first pyramid that's a step pyramid in Egypt start with the madrasa? And then they build a bigger madrasa, and then a little bit bigger madrasa, then a miniature pyramid, then the big one. That does not sound like they got the idea wholesale.
Right.
Not at least not to me. I could be wrong. Maybe it's all from Mesopotamia. I just don't think so, because we don't see really any pyramid-like structures or stuff until Babylonians. But Babylonians have eDNA. eDNA left Egypt 5,000 years ago, went to Syria, and then over to Iraq.
Oh.
And then people took over and became empire. You know, the idea they just took from Egypt about empires.
Right.
They brought it to, so, and then they have the pyramid, like the step pyramid, like the one in Egypt. I don't know. But once again, I am not, see the top, it says seeming evolution.
Yes.
I don't know.
Right.
I am just saying, look at what I do know, and doesn't this look like there's something going on?
Right.
And so, first
There's
off, this
a
is
seeming connection sort of thing.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm seeing something. I don't know what the relevance is, but I'm seeing something.
Right.
Anyways, and then the question marks I put in the arrows because once again, I am not saying I fully know that that is exactly what happened. So just so you know, also that I'm showing that I'm being somewhat careful. And then I shared it to like about 8 different archaeologists and historians and anthropologists, whatever, because I like to hear before I showed anybody else. Just because I want to hear what they have to say, because maybe they have something great to say. This is what some Graham Hancock. He is like scared for archaeologists to look at this shit. I love it. And if they have something, I may change. I may adapt. I may add, or I may go, hey, it's perfect, whatever. But I am open to them critiquing me.
Right.
I know, it's crazy.
What?
Corey's like, you are a stooge for archaeologists. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyways, so 3 people responded. This historian who challenged me kind of. He agreed kind of, and he also challenged me. But then I challenged him back, and then he basically accepted that I probably was reasonable. Okay. Anyways, then the other person just said, interesting. I like to see the dates and the info, but it's very interesting. Then the other, I didn't send that to you, but I could have, but it's not, because that's not important to me, of proving they like me. But then the other person who does Göbekli Tepe archaeology, which people, know that's like oldest to me, like pagan sort of temple or ritual area. Specific. In other words, like a lot of them were could have been before that, but they have usually a town, and in the town they have their own little thing. This is kind of like up on a hill by itself in a sense.
Okay.
So it's not exactly nobody there, but it's not a town.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay.
So just so you know. So that person said, what did they say? I think he said, very good. Keep up your ideas, or keep, doing, my thinking, because it's beneficial. And he goes, I'd like to see the other stuff. I said, I'm going to give you the blog when I'm done. I said, but it's going to be a while because I've been overwhelmed and all kinds of shit going on. But anyway.
Yeah.
So my point is, though, is also to show that just like what I say about what gods did what, I want people to understand, just like this right here, even though all these are a mound of creation, they literally are different, and they evolve.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you grasp that I am not saying one and done,
right.
That's why I feel like people like simple answers, especially, unfortunately, atheists want simple answer for religion. Like, I just think it's lightning, or I think it's schizophrenia. I'm like, well, it's really a lot harder than that. And to make a good assumption, you have to have good evidence. And if you don't have that, like I've done, then your assumptions or speculations could be wildly off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, but I want you to read what he said to me about the picture, and then what I responded. By the way, I didn't give you in this thing, but I have links to all this, so I gave to them. So the Wikipedia link. So it wasn't like I was trying to get some Graham Hancock type of evidence. I just go, here's Wikipedia.
Right. This is what I'm basing my conclusions on. And
right. Well, and I'll just so you know too, I also know that Cambridge University did a big old thing. I just don't remember the top right now of the head. I have to go look for it because it's like years ago, maybe like 8 years ago or something. So it's not like recent, but it's about Mesopotamia, 4,000 to 6,000 years ago. So it doesn't need to be recent. I mean, to be anyways, all they were showing was this is similar, this is similar, this is similar, this is similar, this is similar. And they were just, it was more than I realized. Like, holy fuck. Tons of ideas. It wasn't like one thing, as you already know, anyways. People took their brains with them.
Yeah.
And so all kinds of ideas, not just one. So, like I told you too, we break religion down, but really it's a package of bullshit.
Yeah. So you want me to read this exchange with
I want you
Dave
to read the
Miano?
whole thing because it
Okay.
really helps to understand why because remember, I'm explaining religion. So what if I'm wrong, Corey?
Yeah.
So go ahead and read it. And as this is what he said and what I said.
All right, so it starts off, I'm working on this blog post, Seeming Evolution of the Mound of Creation in Mesopotamia and Ancient Egypt. What do you think of this arrangement I created? And then he responds, it's not bad, but I think it gives the false impression that the two processes were somehow linked. That's from David Miano, historian of the ancient world.
Who, by the way, I totally respect. I think he's cool. So this is not an attack in any way to him.
Right. Just
I have zero problems with him, actually.
Yeah. So then you respond, there was influence with both cultures. Egypt, Mesopotamia relations were the relations between the civilizations of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia in the Middle East. They seem to have developed from the 4th millennium BCE, starting in the Uruk period for Mesopotamia, circa 4000 to 3100 BCE, and the half a millennium younger Gerzan culture of prehistoric Egypt, circa 3500 to 3200 BCE, and constituted a largely one-way body of influences from Mesopotamia into Egypt. You continue. Ziggurats.
By the way, a ziggurat is like a pre-pyramid or something close to a pyramid.
Ziggurats were built by ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Elamites, Eblates, and Babylonians for local religions. Each ziggurat was part of a temple complex with other buildings. Before the ziggurats there were raised platforms that date from the Ubaid period during the 6th millennium BCE. The ziggurats began as platforms, usually oval, rectangular, or square. The ziggurat was a mastaba-like structure with a flat top.
Okay, now pause for 1 second, because a mastaba is a platform structure that inside of it, the Egyptians would put, besides the burial, they would put a little recreated mound of creation. Sometimes even like reeds and water and shit. To really recreate the mound of creation. Mound of creation, by the way, just quick for people that maybe haven't listened to all of our videos.
Yeah.
The mound of creation is that the whole world was a water world. Now, this is almost universal to all religions. They have all kinds of explainings of how it stopped being water world, including the Bible. Where some say a turtle and mud or sand or dirt, whatever, became the whole earth. And so we're all on a turd's back. And people always go, well, what's under that? Water, because they thought it was fucking floating in water.
Right.
So water, because they always go, oh, ho, ho, what is it? And I'm like, you need to learn religion. Water. Anyways, so the whole earth is water, including the Bible. It says the spirit, the second day, I think it was, or third day, the spirit of the Lord flies over the water of the deep because there's no fucking land. Then it says, then there was land. Right. I think that I told you before, in Mesopotamia, the wind, spirit of the Lord, flew over the water, dried it out, made land. That's right. Anyway, so, and then what happened was the mound of creation or the mountain of creation. And then eventually, like the Norse, it's a mountain of creation. Of course, it's also in the center of the world of the flat earth. And then there's a tree.
Yeah.
in the center of that, and that's actually relates in all of it actually relates to the axis mundi, which is the center of the world, which is a pole that they think is the Milky Way. Anyway, just so we're all on the same page of what I mean fucking talking about. Real quick.
So according to some historians, the design of Egyptian pyramids, especially the stepped designs of the oldest pyramids, Pyramid of Zoser at Saqqara, 2600 BCE, may have been an evolution from the ziggurats built in Mesopotamia. Others say the Pyramid of Zoser and the earliest Egyptian pyramids may have been derived locally from the bench-shaped mastaba tomb.
Right. And so I think, I told you my opinion is they're both accurate. I think they got stuff from the thing, so they made the mastabas. I think that the fact that they turn it into a pyramid, my personal belief, or what it looks like to me, is that's an Egyptian thing.
Right.
But then, like I said, then I think it goes back into Mesopotamia because then they later get a pyramid younger than Egypt. They just still call it a step. I don't know, call it a ziggurat, but it looks like because this is also important. The picture shows it, but it's the first pyramid of Djoser was a 6-step pyramid. The pyramid in the center of the world in Babylonian mythology was 6 levels and 1 temple on top. So a step pyramid, just like Egypt, throw on a temple, there you go.
Right.
And then the first ziggurat built, which is the last picture of that picture, the ziggurat built in Mesopotamia was the step pyramid with 6 things. And again, the pyramid thing on top was the temple, which is interesting because the pyramids that are pointed, the point on top is considered to be the Mound of Creation, which is a pointed pyramid.
Right.
On top of say it used to be a step pyramid. So that's why I almost think that the idea went there, pyramid, but said they put a thing on top. Well, then just speculation, but then it comes back to Egypt and they go, yeah, but we don't have a temple, Mound of Creation on top. I'm just saying, or certainly it seems similar behavior.
Right.
Which was what the point I was trying to say. And also, like, the facts are already back up that this is not like some wild bucket speculation.
Right. You're connecting existing facts.
Correct.
Yeah. So then you continue. Egyptian architecture also was influenced as it adopted various elements of early Mesopotamian temple and civic architecture. Recessed niches in particular, which are characteristic of Mesopotamian temple architecture, were adopted for the design of false doors in the tombs of the First Dynasty and Second Dynasty, from the time of Nakata 3 period, circa 3000 BCE.
Right, 5,000 years ago.
It is unknown if the transfer of this design was the result of Mesopotamian builders and architects in Egypt, or if temple designs on imported Mesopotamian seals may have been a sufficient source of inspiration for Egyptian architects to manage themselves.
And I don't know, by the way. I don't know which of those is correct. And I'm not claiming to know. I'm saying I know there's a relation. I don't know how that happened.
Right. Which direction or how it...
Well, no, I know the direction is from Mesopotamia into Egypt. Just like that, they're not saying it's not. They're saying they don't know if it's actual Mesopotamian builders and architects.
Oh, okay.
Or if it's just Mesopotamian ideas.
I
don't know either. So we're on the same page.
Yeah, fair enough. The design of the ziggurat, which appeared in Mesopotamia in the late 5th millennium BCE, or 7,000 to 6,000 years ago, was clearly a precursor to and an influence on the Egyptian pyramids, especially the step designs of the oldest pyramids, or step pyramid, the earliest of which, Pyramid of Djoser at Saqqara, dates to circa 2600 BCE, or 4,600 years ago, well over 2,000 years younger than Mesopotamian ziggurats / step pyramids. This again strongly suggests early cultural and technological influence on Egypt by Mesopotamia. So then,
what did he say?
He says,
"Oh, Damien, you're wrong. You're like Graham Hancock." What was
that? No, I don't. It doesn't look like he says that.
I think so.
He says, yes, I realize there was some influence, but keep in mind that the purpose of the structures are not the same. So then you reply again, I don't believe they are exactly the same, just influenced with similar themes. Creation myths of the first land emerged out of an all-water world and then related with the flat earth theme, thinking that a mound / mountain is in the center. The first land was a mound / mountain in several different myths that spread around and changed with different cultures, but the core elements can still be understood to me. I don't actually care about the structures, but the myth themes they share. I value you in your comment. I enjoy the work you do.
Right. Because unlike Graham Hancock, even though someone was kind of challenging me, I don't go, fuck you, you just want to make it, you don't want to accept new ideas like Graham Hancock's always talking about. You know how you impress a historian or an archaeologist or an anthropologist? Evidence.
Yeah, that's right.
You know how you impress Damien to change? Evidence.
Yeah.
I know. Corey, what's wrong with me, right? Everyone thinks I'm crazy.
Don't just declare that there's a conspiracy against you.
Right?
That's not how to convince people.
No.
At least not professional.
Well, that's not a legitimate way. I mean,
Yeah, that's
people
right.
may get convinced by
right.
obviously fucking Donald Trump convinced a fucking bunch of people he's a good person. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Bizarre.
Or Armin convincing himself that he's a good person. What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, you are not. Fuck no.
Yeah.
First off, does he even exhibit the characteristics of Damien? Like being generous to person challenging him.
Right.
I think I remember the last video which I sent you where he was defending Charlie Kirk. He wouldn't debate with a woman because he said maybe her intellect is too low, so he doesn't. I'm like, see right there.
Right there.
Fuck you. I don't even know what it's about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like I was saying, how do I say? I told him I appreciate your work, appreciate your comments, right?
Yep.
Did I ever tell him he was wrong? I showed him evidence. And then he changed to give a different opinion a little bit. But also, I understand too, he is in his world thinking that the structures matter. In Damien's world, I'm like, I'm talking mythology, dude. I don't give a fuck about what the fuck these people use these things for.
Yeah.
But anyways, is that my fault or his? See what I'm saying? If my thing is different, then I need to explain that.
Yeah.
It's on. Oh, I know it's crazy. If you make a claim, the bearer of the burden of proof is the claim holder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, Armin, if your claim cannot be beaten against someone, I don't know. You are the problem, not them. It doesn't even matter what the subject is.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I'm not saying that I debate every single fucking asshole.
No, of course.
So,
I don't do it on social media. But like,
well, I do sometimes, so I can't. I used to do I used to take on everyone because I did 15 years of full-on activism. I felt like my life was not my own. I was willing to die. Someone asked me that. Well, what if you got hurt like Charlie Kirk? I go, I've been ready to die since I started to be an activist. That's not saying I want to die. I'm just saying this is worth it. People's lives are on the line. What are you fucking kidding me? No, I've never been under the delusion that I was safe.
Yeah.
Or thinking that if, because I feel people go, well, I wouldn't do it if I wasn't safe. Well, then there would be no activism because a lot of activists have died, gotten murdered, killed, assassinated, whatever the fuck. Anyways, I don't want to go into that, but I was making a comment. I don't feel that's a legitimate, opinion
to
me. But I do it out of care. Like I said, the same thing. I wouldn't read. I wouldn't learn. I wouldn't fucking remember all this bullshit. But I care. That is the difference.
Yeah.
He does not sound like a person that fucking cares. And certainly, do you hear me belittling people because of their IQ? I have a higher IQ probably than Armin does.
Oh, probably.
Do I fucking go and say shit to him? Well, I see that is not ethical. First off, also people. I feel like a lot of the hype of IQ is some bullshit.
Oh yeah, it's largely culturally constructed, right?
Because it. Are you asking me if a person can remember a bunch of stuff? Are you asking a person's a critical thinker? Those are all not. How about a social thinker?
Yeah.
How about a moral thinker? You could be all these other things and yet not have this. How do we know that? Tons of scientists, super smart, bad with people. Or some people could be super smart and yet they want to be a capitalist and they feel they're a good person. What the fuck? Obviously, you have a moral failure.
Right. It's not like this one measurement determines any real value as a human being.
Value. Exactly. As an axiologist who does value theory, it's always about value to me. So when you try to put things together and I'm like, even if IQ is great, does it show that makes the best person? No. Does it show it makes the most loving and, beneficial person? No. Well, then it's not the most beneficial.
And I find that often the people who are touting IQ, like Armin, using it to belittle this woman who he doesn't want to debate,
right,
are often they're using it as like just a tool to dismiss people or treat them poorly. And
right.
Yeah. So
well, yeah, it's a bad thing no matter what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So that shows how unethical it is. It really doesn't matter what the subject was. He also called her a retard. That's also something I don't think is good. First off, because also then you put it with IQ. Oh, so people that are less than, you can call them retards? You think that is, I don't know, an ethical person? If Armin is so high on his thinking, why doesn't he also have high thinking morals?
Yeah.
Fucking failure. So fuck him. And I don't think that's validated just because I have a high intelligence. I think it's because I have a moral intelligence. And I know that's some fucking bullshit. That's not how you should treat human beings. Anyways, let's go. We'll get to him in just a second. I really want to finish the thing I was talking about with the next picture down. I also sent the hint to that guy to show what I meant about flat earths and all this bullshit.
Oh, yep.
But how ancient cosmology shaped everyone's theology. So the cosmology is the issue, and cosmology has to be how you design your world. Since all the worlds are almost the same, similar in context. In fact, even like one person told me one time, because of course they don't do research, but I do. And they go, oh, well, yeah, that's really good, but that doesn't have anything to do with Proto-Indo-European. We don't have flat earth. And I go, have you looked at the name of the goddess of earth in Proto-Indo-European? Did you look at what they call epitaphs, what they say this about you or whatever, like Damien.
Right.
Damien is an ethical person or strives to be, right? That's
right.
a thing about me.
Yep.
I strive to be kind, unlike Armin, which I think shows that no matter if he was intelligent, no matter if he had some moral intelligence, you're not a good person because you're not a kind person. That's easy for me in axiology.
Yeah.
You know what a good person is? Someone who does good. There you go.
Yeah.
Is it good to belittle people? Is it good to no call people names? No, it's not. Absolutely. And also like the word retard is of course attacking people that even if they were mentally deficient. I see those as beautiful people. Those people are not horrid people. That you're a horrid person and supposedly you have this higher intelligence than you think retards have. But yet they act kinder than you. So I don't know. They're better to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, fuck him. But so you see in the bottom, right? It says the sacred flat earth. This is what I'm talking about, Corey. And also you see it evolves with culture, right? Oh, because it's a culture product.
Yeah, like they're not identical.
No.
But they all share very similar things.
Right. All have water and shit, and all have, fucking flat earth, and then most of them have mountains or hills or something in the center. Even the Navajo and Inca don't have an exact mound or mountain, but they have a little tiny something in the middle.
Right.
Because it's all fucking related.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it goes, like I said, it all goes back to the mound of creation or the mountain of creation, and it has to do with the axis Mundi. But anyways, so, and then the next picture real quick is the Mayans, and it shows the Mayans a step pyramid and the Babylonians a step pyramid. And at a certain point, the Egyptian symbol for the primordial hill or mound of creation was a step pyramid. So I'm just showing that, look at how they're, and I'm not saying, like some people believe, I'm not saying that Egypt went to the Mayans.
Right.
People did go DNA-wise, eDNA, left Egypt 5,000 years ago and stayed in contact, whatever, somewhat, and went over and took over Babylonians or became Babylonians. Anyways, so the point is them having a step pyramid, and also another thing too, Egyptian is a form of Semitic, and so is the Amorites who had eDNA, and took over things, and so are the not 100%, but some portion, maybe 30% of the Babylonians were also eDNA and Semitic. So I mean, it's not,
Right.
Now, like I said, the Mayans, though, I do think that's a more distant and not directly connected, but it's still doing a similar thing.
Right.
Anyway,
which is interesting. Yeah.
Move to the next thing real quick.
Okay.
Picture. So this is showing the evolution of the ziggurats, and then down is the evolution of pyramids. And you see they are really not the same at almost any point. So I am not saying that they are the same.
Yeah.
But they are doing a similar thing, and all of these, every single one of these does relate to a mound or mountain of creation.
Mm-hmm.
That is the real point that I am trying to, get you across, and that they evolved. Everyone thinks it's like, once again, like aliens came down and gave. No, that fucking absolutely is not what happened. So I'm done with that. Let's talk about Armin's shit.
Okay.
Real quick. So, which I know we already kind of did, but I want to address him more. First off, I want to start. I know it's not the way that I sent it to you, but I want to start with, I think empathy is a made up new age term that does a lot of damage. Empathy. And yet, and I posted that, by the way, when he got shot. I don't support political violence. I don't support violence unless it's direct defense or other defense.
Yeah.
To me, snipering someone, that's not direct defense.
Right. Yeah, I think it's pretty easy to say that shooting somebody from a rooftop is not good.
Well, and especially if he was in the thing of raping someone and you did that, I'm cool with it.
Right.
Right. But he wasn't.
Yeah.
So not cool with it. But I also feel fucking no empathy for that guy. You're a fucking bigot, trash piece of garbage. Yeah. Just like I would feel no empathy if Armin got killed. I'm not saying people should kill him or hurt him or anything, but you're a piece of trash if somebody killed you. I'm sorry. I don't feel a lot of feelings for when the KKK leader dies. I just don't.
Yeah, that's right. Like, I don't have to feel bad every time somebody bad dies.
No. How you live your life, I don't know, fuckers. Does matter. You know what? Yeah. People will probably feel really bad if someone shot me. Not because I have started some fucking cult, but because I've been a good person.
Right.
See, there's the difference.
Yeah.
Then the empathy is reasonable, even from people that might have hated my ideas.
Yeah.
But also, aren't we honoring him? How would we give empathy to the person that says empathy does a lot of damage? So I feel good. Great. Then we support him too by not showing that fucker a thing of empathy.
That's right.
Now, just above that, there's a link. We have to watch that first. That way, when we just watch a little tiny clip of Armin talking bullcrap, then we'll be able to grasp. So this link, right, gives, and I want you to read a few of these so that we can, what was his opinion on race? Maybe Damien is just an uninformed, and being a bigot myself, right? Yeah, I don't think so. Go ahead and read what his things is.
Yeah. So he's Charlie Kirk said, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. He said,
that's race.
If you're a WNBA pot-smoking black lesbian, do you get treated better than a United States Marine?
More racism, and also against a person being lesbian. What the fuck? In pot smoking. Speaking of pot smoking, I now don't have pot. Remember I told you I ran out of money, right? And I'm not gonna. It's like my wife figured it out. It's almost $12,000 a year that I spend to get pot.
Oh, okay.
And so that is not affordable. Pot was free, I'd still be smoking it. But then I threw my bong out because I can't afford that shit. So anyways, my point is, but also, when I was smoking pot, was I a bad person, Corey?
Nope. It's like almost like it doesn't make you a bad person. And
people go, oh, it makes you not intelligent. I don't know. I was high as fuck talking to you about all this shit. Do I sound that much different?
It has little
almost no effect at all.
Little effect for
little
sure.
Effect on Damien's personality, other than I felt less stressed and anxiety inside.
Right.
Because, anyways,
which can actually help a person think clearer if they don't have as much anxiety and stress.
I would agree, because I've actually recently had a harder time thinking and feeling more stressed about thinking. I normally have no stress. I'm normally about thinking. It's like, fucking, I love to think.
Yeah.
The more I love to win battles. So when people challenge my thinking, then my I don't even have to do anything. It just takes over. Oh yeah. Anyway. So sometimes I'll be not into it, but once I start getting attacked, then my brain kicks in and goes, all right. But I now try to limit some of that, because I'm not an activist anymore in that kind of way where I'm, trying to save the world on every single, post.
Right.
But anyways, so keep going. Let's read more from this dickhead.
Yeah. So then again, Charlie Kirk, quote, happening all the time in urban America, prowling blacks go around for fun to target white people. That's a fact. It's happening more and more. That's racist
That's
and a
not
lie.
a fact and flat out racism.
Yeah. Then he says, there's another one from January 3rd, 2024. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence or is she there because of affirmative action?
Which this is actually what I try to teach people is a false question.
Yep.
In other words, and I try to explain something. If I said, it has to do with how you frame stuff. And I don't want to go into all how I know and do things because it can also be used backwards to then manipulate people if I explain too much. So I don't want to. But
right.
My wife had one of her relatives say this to her. I heard it, and then later I told her, why can't you do this for the house, right? Or sell it or whatever, right? And I said, see, just take everything away. And the why can't you? Make a statement about love that starts with why can't you? It can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's an attack.
Right.
And that's how you realize it doesn't matter what comes after. It's already just why can't you is already an attack. It's impossible. Like if I said, why can't you, Corey, I love you, or something.
Right. Like it is like you say, it's an attack. It says you are failing.
Right. You failed already.
Yeah.
And I'm belittling you about it. In a sense. Like I said, I don't want to go into all that. Like I said, we talked about dignity attacks before.
Right.
I understand them. I see them. I see the little pieces and how they go together. I also understand how to put them together if I wanted to do that. But I told you that's abuse.
Right.
The fact that I can do it, as like he says, I high IQ. The fact you have a high IQ doesn't mean that you're a good person to then use that to abuse others.
Right. Yeah.
Abusing others is wrong. High IQ has nothing the fuck to do with it.
Yep.
Anyways, go ahead.
Sure. So then we've got another quote from Charlie Kirk from July 13th, 2023. It says, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racists. Now they're coming out and they're
you are racist, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's right.
First off, almost everyone on there has a fucking college degree,
yeah.
So I don't, but something like that, right? They're all. I mean,
yeah, they're all educated, intelligent people.
Well educated.
Yeah. And he says, so now they're coming out and saying that it for us, you do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
Fucking clearly racism.
Yeah, this is clearly racism. Like somebody replied to one of my posts saying like, what exactly do you not like about Charlie Kirk? And then basically proceeded to say, don't use any of the clips of what he said.
Yeah. Let's not do that. How would you do it? Well, I say that all the time. I always tell people I write this because I like to just like the why can't you? I like to do that, but in a positive way.
Right.
And I say, how would we know that you're a good person?
Right.
Would we not find the evidence in your expressed thinking and behaviors?
Yep.
And if not that, how?
Yeah. So how do we know? How do we know that if we're being fair? How do we know that Charlie Kirk is a good person when so many of the things that he said are hurtful and harmful?
Right,
and
I don't want to just do. There's more stuff, but let's do at least the 3 for gender because I also think he's fucking just a piece of shit all over the place. But go ahead, he's not just a racist. That would be limiting his destructiveness.
Right. Yeah. On gender, feminism, and reproductive rights. He says, reject feminism, submit to your husband. Taylor, you're not in charge. Discussing Taylor Swift.
Which personally for me, I find that to be gross and vile as fuck.
Don't submit to anybody.
Yeah. No one fucking owns you. You own yourself, including a spouse. They do the fuck not own you.
Yeah. When he was talking about whether or not he would support his 10-year-old daughter aborting a pregnancy conceived because of rape, when he was on Surrounded, he said the answer is yes, the baby would be delivered.
That's gross as fuck too.
Yeah,
fucking 10-year-old. does not need to be having a fucking baby. What the fuck?
And yeah, and being forced to have a child from rape is cruelty in
it is
the worst
it's
way.
It's abuse.
Yeah. And then he said, we need to have a Nuremberg-style trial for every gender-affirming clinic doctor. We need it immediately.
It's just fucking vile. How could I feel empathy for any of that? And of course, there's more. We're not going to keep reading because this isn't not a show directly about that. I'm just saying how this goes back to like when I make claims. Like I was trying to say, how do we know that my claims have any merit that people should listen to?
Yeah.
Well, because I show you the evidence. And if you don't feel I did the evidence, guess what? Don't believe me. Go look up for yourself. And even if you do believe my evidence, go look it up for yourself.
Yeah. I in the weeks actually before Charlie Kirk's murder, I had multiple conversations about him with family members, with friends, with coworkers. And in every instance, whenever somebody brought him up, I'm like, well, he's a liar, and he's a racist, and he's a sexist, and he's a transphobe, and
a homophobe.
He was an awful person before he died. And I'm not going to pretend that he wasn't an awful person because he died.
Right. So let's real quick go and hear what the foolish Armin that supposedly has high intellect fucking said.
Okay. I'll find this. It's a very long post.
Just I know, don't do the whole fucking thing for sure. Maybe like a minute or two, just so we can hopefully. I wish I should have probably listened to it and gave you the exact time, which I did for the religious stuff. I hate him so much. I just forgot, really.
It sounds like you would be punishing yourself in order to do that. I don't think that's fair. Okay. Just the title is wrong. He's obviously being dishonest. So
right. He said Charlie Kirk is not racist. We just proved that's a lie.
Yeah. So.
Hello, Durud and Shalom. Guys, a lot of people think.
Pause for 1 second.
Charlie Kirk was racist.
Isn't Shalom a Jewish religious thing?
Yeah.
And isn't he an atheist and also not Jewish and ex-Muslim?
But he is absolutely a Zionist, which is why I think he does that.
Right. I'm just making a point that so people are on the same page. What the fuck? Anyway, we already know this guy's got some issues. What the? Excuse me?
Yeah.
And I cannot believe how far away from reality all of this is. It's absolute insanity. And I know a lot of you in the chat also think that he was a racist.
Because he was.
I just want you to keep an open mind today. And I'm willing to accept if I'm wrong. I will listen to you guys in the chat as long as you also keep an open mind. I will keep an open mind. I want you to keep an open mind as well. And I mean, honestly, the more I research this man, the more I realize how unfair all these accusations have been. And they have been there for a long time. And I also feel embarrassed that I used to believe these things and only now I'm looking into it. So I assume that some of them at least are true without even checking, which is really embarrassing. And I'm ashamed to admit that. And now that I'm looking into the guy, I'm realizing that he was actually one of the most, not only was he not racist, he was fighting racism.
Oh my God, that's
How?
enough.
Yeah.
That's fucking enough. I don't even want to hear his mouth again. What the fuck? By the way, remember I told you he tried to fucking follow me or friend me on Blue Sky?
Right.
Yeah, I did not do that. I won't feel empathy for Charlie Kirk, and I won't fucking have fucking people that I follow are flat out bigots, liars, scumbags. No, not happening. Anyways, let's move on. Fuck him. Let's move on. I already beat that up. So the next thing I'll do is I want to do the two videos on tricksters, and then the next one is about shapeshifters.
Okay.
And I sent you the time too because I don't want to do the whole fucking video, but
Oh. This thing. Okay.
I know. It's gross. It's hard to get the taste out of your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. I not a fan.
They can be gods or animals, heroes or villains, fools or masterminds. The trickster defies expectations and can reshape the world, even the cosmos. And this happens sometimes through chaos and sometimes through laughter. They bring light to the dark and expose the flaws of the powerful and keep our stories unpredictable. Today, I'll take you on a journey through myths across the world to uncover who or what the trickster really is and why every society needs them to survive. And so,
Pause
if
for
you
a
want to learn
second.
more about these myths.
Every society does not need mythology to survive. I know he's a pagan and these things, but that's probably one of the farthest from reality that he said. Maybe he's got other ones, but he's generally good. Just so I don't, even though he's pagan and he's good at the mythology. That statement right there is just fucking nonsense. But anyway,
it betrays a bias, right?
Yeah, all societies need trickster deities. All societies need fucking free healthcare. Need fucking people to,
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway.
Imagine a world of complete darkness. No sun, no moon, no stars. This was our world until a trickster changed everything. Well, that is the story of the Tingling people of the Pacific Northwest of America. They say that light itself was kept locked away in 3 boxes by a powerful sky chief who guarded them jealously in his celestial.
We're going to listen to the rest of it, but I want to address Sky Chief. So it's actually not Sky Chief. I'm not saying he's totally wrong. I kind of agree, but if you go look up Tlingit Sky Chief, it won't be there. It's Heavenly Chief, and the interpretation of the word heaven also can relate to sky, so it is kind of Sky Chief. Okay. Just like that's the Tlingit, the Tizelman or I'm bad at names. Apologize. The other Pacific Northwest culture that is very similar to that one. They have a thing called Lord of the Sky, I think it is, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And it basically also means Sky Chief or Lord of Heaven. I think maybe it's Lord of Heaven or yeah. Anyway, something like that. But it also means when I translated their words, and they mean Sky Chief in a sense. Just what I'm just saying. And then I sent you a thing real quick about Sky Chief. And this culture. You saw it where it says no Tlingit does not have a Sky Chief.
Right. Yeah.
AI over you.
Yep.
Couldn't read that.
Yeah. So you want the piece in between as well?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Don't read the last one. I was having problems sending to you, so I don't know. It sent that twice.
Sometimes it sends it twice. Okay. Yeah. So Yeel Raven, this culture hero, is often described as the trickster and transformer who is central to Tlingit oral tradition. In many stories, Raven is responsible for releasing the sun, moon, and stars, which were hoarded by a heavenly chief in the upper world.
Right, and that's what he's calling it, Sky Chief. I'm just trying to show you him and me talking religion in more looser terms because we know what the theme is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is hard to talk to historians and archaeologists because they want only deal with the details and don't understand, or not always. Some do, but a lot of times they don't see like how the dimensions are really similar. But this person does, although he's a pagan and I'm not.
Right. You want me to finish reading this?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I try to explain stuff because I want people to grasp this.
Yep, for sure. Through trickery and shapeshifting, Raven steals these treasures and brings light to the world.
Right. You see how he says shapeshifting? Remember I told you shapeshifting we're going to get to also because literally it's not just trickery. Shapeshifting is involved. Go ahead.
Right. The Tlingit Great Spirit can refer to the overarching sacred presence in the universe, sometimes called the Great Mystery or Kasuguya.
Which also, I've told you before, is a lot like the Chinese version of Qi.
Okay.
Or it's just this energy that kind of connects everything. Or I'll say like the Force in the Star Wars.
Right.
Let the Force go through you. They're talking about this.
though Tlingit spirituality is more accurately described as encompassing many spirits or Jek that inhabit the natural world and can influence human lives. The term Ha-Shagayena is used to represent this concept of a universal sacred force.
Right, like chi. So, anyways, now let's go back up to finish that video. I just wanted to, because he said something. I know if someone were to go look that up, they'd be like, "Oh, he's wrong." So Damien's wrong. No. He's kind of right, and I understand why that you may not.
Right.
Home. But Raven, a clever and devious figure, had a plan. Learning that the Sky Chief had a daughter, Raven transformed himself into a speck of dust and floated around a cup that belonged to the daughter. When she drank her water, she swallowed the speck of dust and became pregnant with Raven, being reborn as the Sky Chief's beloved grandson. As a cherished grandchild, Raven would cry and wail for the boxes. Each time the Sky Chief gave in to his grandson's demands and tears, and Raven would play with the box until everyone relaxed their guard. Then, at the perfect moment, Raven threw open each box, releasing the moon, the stars, and finally the sun into the sky. When the Sky Chief realized the deception,
Pause for a second.
Raven...
This is kind of like in the Bible story where the creation starts and then a few days later there's the sun. He said the different ones and then lastly the sun. Just trying to help you see that, once again, like I said, I don't care about some of the architecture. It's the theme and that they're expressing that's similar.
Right. Yeah, the architecture is involved in the religion in a variety of ways, so that's why.
Right, it could be different, but the theme is not really that different.
Yeah.
fled through the hole in the roof of the home where the smoke from the fire escaped. And this is why ravens are black to this day. And that's also how, through deception and shape-shifting and perfect timing, a trickster brought light into the world.
Pause for a second. So
Raven...
you see how, I think that's it almost, isn't it? Or a couple more minutes, maybe. But anyway, so that was trying to show you see how even he couldn't mention Trickster without shapeshifting.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to show you that a lot of people, once again, they only think Trickster. Oh, yeah, I know about Trickster deities. Yeah, but if you say that and don't mention shapeshifting, you don't know about Trickster deities.
Right, right.
The story shows us something important, that tricksters come in two main forms. One kind is the animal trickster, a clever creature who outwits stronger foes. They can take many animal forms, but are often seen as foxes or spiders or coyotes. The other form of trickster is...
So that an animal trickster, I believe, shapeshifting starts with totemism. But I almost feel that tricksters being weak and doing things has nothing to do with totemism, but has to do with shamanism.
Okay.
So that aspect of the weak, because totemism is really about the strong clan, the strong stuff, where shamanism says you can be gay, you can be trans, you can be, intersex, you could have broken. In fact, most of the shamans, or the first shaman buried a female, she had a damaged eye. And in like Korea and stuff, the shamans, the females would all have some eye problem, would be more prone to being a shaman, because you can then see, and they believe you could see into the afterlife. But what I'm trying to say is it shows how shamanism accepts differences or whatever as a positive. And let me explain why. To a shaman thinking, the world has, say, 1 million people, right? But how many of them are Down syndrome, right? Very few compared to the whole world, right?
Yep.
That makes them special.
Right.
Now, I'm saying in a shamanistic mindset. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also shamans don't
I can get behind that.
Well, right. Well, yeah. I'm just making I'm trying to help. I want to help people understand when I say shaman and totemism, why they're different or what's going on.
Right.
So when a shaman says they care about the weak ones, that's shamanism, because totemism cares about the strength of the clan. They're likely to be warriors more than say, let's worship or take care of the innocent. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
By the way, there could also be shamanistic warriors, so people don't.
Right.
me off.
Yeah. These are not mutually
I'm not
exclusive
making
things.
that
Yeah.
claim. So
Yeah.
I'm just making the claim that it's, if you said which one has a tendency to care for the weak and value the weak, not just care for them, but see them as special, I would say shamanism, hands down.
Right. Right.
Anyway,
The divine trickster, a god or
pause for a
supernatural
second.
being who
And
challenges
of course,
the
the
cosmos.
divine trickster would be paganism because it's a god or whatever. See the
Right.
difference I'm also trying to show you? So I think it all starts in shapeshifting, which is totemistic, that a person can have multiple spirits or whatever, and then one of them be an animal or
Right.
whatever, or a weather event is an animal. And then you have shamans going, yeah, but the most important is the weakest, and this, you know, and we love stories shamanistic. We like stories not when the clan all makes it and stuff, but when the weakest person helps everyone, or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or like value we were talking about, you know, that the value is everyone has value, and the ones that people say are the weakest, the hurt, the broken, the whatever, we should value them more.
Right.
Anyways, so it's teaching a moral lesson also.
Cosmic order itself. And here is where things get interesting. Why do some cultures keep their tricksters as simple animals while others elevate them to gods, whilst others blend the two? The first type, the trickster who tricks, such as the raven that steals the light, or the fox who can trick the bear, or the spider that outwits the lion. These are universal animal tricksters that appear worldwide in a huge number of myths. But then
Pause
when
for a
it
second.
shape shifts and moves between
So we know, I've already said, I think the animals come first, and then we humanize stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like he said, the animals is universal. The deity is not.
Right. That makes sense.
Right. I'm just, because like I said, my goal, you know, Corey, is I don't want you to just go, oh yeah, I've heard some things about it. I want you to understand what is going on, because then you realize how culture it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, because if you just told all these weird myths, stealing the sun, putting it in a box, taking it from heaven, you know, and you're like, well, see, I just think they were looking at clouds and, you know, and had schizophrenia, and that's how why, you know. And I'm like,
Right.
how does that explain how worldwide it's all the same?
Yeah.
Well, because different gods. Yeah, but how do you explain that the one that's worldwide isn't the god?
Yeah.
Anyways, you get what I'm trying to
It's
say.
not explained by, like you say, like these kind of almost individualistic kind of explanations, right?
Because Corey, if you don't know, like I do, and you now probably know a lot too, about why shaman is different, what it's doing, how it perceives things, then of course from that culture understanding, then that you end up with a certain kind of thing. Not because schizophrenia across the world, everyone has weird beliefs. That only sounds true when you don't know all the shit that now Corey knows.
Right.
It's actually a, you know, flawed speculation because of limited information.
Right. Yeah. Which happens a lot. But
Yeah. Well, yeah, it can happen to me. So I'm not unlike Armin, even though I have lots of knowledge and I have lots of intelligence, I still have made mistakes because some of it still is limited information or cultural bias.
Yep.
It's hard to think past.
and mortal realms, it becomes the second flavour of trickster, the divine trickster, usually a male figure such as the likes of Loki in
Pause for a second.
mythology.
I know people probably hate that I do this, but because I want to explain, I don't want you to just listen to this guy. If that was true, just go to his fucking site, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So what did he say once again? So we know it can't be just schizophrenia, Corey. Is it just all kinds of different things? Because there's men and women both are schizophrenic, right? I mean, it's not like it's 100% male and nothing female.
Right.
So why is it that the male trickster deities are really what it is? Whenever it's a deity, it's generally a male. Kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah. It's almost cultural.
Cultural. Which that's like I said, going back to what I had said that they tried to challenge me on, I'm still right. Religion is a cultural product, and it moved in cultural migrations.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that because they always want simple answers. That is the simple answer.
Right. Not in that it's actually kind of straightforward.
Right. Very straightforward.
So,
and it's actually accurate. It's not debunkable.
right. Yeah.
Hermes of the Greek myths, and a trickster who challenges the very order of the cosmos, who can challenge other deities. Now, these two flavours of trickster exist because of how human societies use stories to understand both their natural order, the natural world.
Pause for a second.
The
We can stop
social...
there because what he said is perfect to end of my thing, right? Because he said the reason they're different, for anyone listening, and remember, he's a pagan, so it's not like me and him are like colluding.
Right.
He said that people use their cultural and their understanding to these things that's why they're different. Oh, so it's culture.
Yeah.
Great. That's exactly what I think. And I know that I probably had a small impression on Korea as well.
Yeah. It's almost like, it's definitely culture.
It's culture. I mean, yeah. And it's great if you want to challenge me, good. And we'll still prove it's culture. But go ahead. And unlike Armin, who does not sound like he is willing to accept outside the ideas, like calling people that don't agree with him just retards and unintelligent when he doesn't know their intelligence, nor is it ethical to act like that way in an ethical person, nor is it philosophy. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
It's not, and nor is it scientific because he wants to think he's scientific. We need evidence. So it's not a philosophic idea. It's not a moral idea. It's not an intelligent idea. It's bigotry.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for playing. Anyways, let's watch the next video. This is on shape-shifting. Because I don't want to. He's talking about all kinds of stuff. I don't care.
What's that? Sorry.
I'm sorry. I said otherwise he'd want to talk about all kinds of other stuff. I don't care. I'm just trying to get you to get my point.
Right.
Wolves echoed through medieval Europe, or the chilling whispers of skinwalkers spread across the deserts of the Americas. The concept of shape-shifting was already deeply embedded in the human imagination. One of the
paused for a
earliest
second.
recorded...
So this person also, who does not collude with me, also says before the werewolves, before the shapeshifters in the Americas, this idea is very old.
Yeah.
I told you, I think it's about 40,000 or 30,000. I think it's 40,000 years old. So I'm just showing you that other scholars or people that are caring about what these myths are really doing also kind of agree with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Shapeshifter myths comes from ancient Mesopotamia, where the
and by the way, that
Gilgamesh
shapeshifter myth, I think in Gilgamesh is like almost 4,000 years. So just to give you, that doesn't mean that's when it started, by the way, but at least we know that it was in there. So
that's at least one for sure, right?
Right. So and also it's interesting. I don't know if it's 4,000 or 4,500 in Indo-European. It seems like they were teaching the young kids to kill their own dog.
Oh,
as a part of becoming a wolf, learning to kill. The object, of course, is psychological, like manipulation. If I make you raise a dog till you're 14 or something, and I say, now you're a man, and the first thing to prove that is you need to murder your own dog that you've loved for 14 years.
Right.
Because only after you do that do I know you have the heart of a wolf and you will kill without remorse.
Jeez.
Which is sick. But I'm just making a comment. So that is a behavior happening. And then Mesopotamia also believes in the wolf, all the way back to Gilgamesh.
Right.
Just showing in a shapeshifter, by the way. But the other one was also kind of connected to shapeshifting too. That kind of beliefs. Because then later, the Vikings, everyone knows about, berserkers or whatever, or wearing animals, which is similar to the shapeshifter concept of wearing an animal pelt in the Americas.
Okay.
Of a man transformed into a wolf as punishment for his sins.
Right. Pause for a second. You see how in Mesopotamia it said in the Epic of Gilgamesh, someone became a werewolf because God punished them. You know, like Cain, or not Cain. Yeah. Cain gets punished in the Bible or whatever to look different.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah,
And
the
that's what
mark
people
of
try to
Cain.
oh,
Yeah.
you got to be black person or something. I've heard that racist bullshit. And I go, amazing that you could only read part of that verse. Did you read the part where no one alive is supposed to harm Cain? Did you read that part?
Right.
So if you do believe that blacks are Cain, and you believe the Bible, and you say you follow it, you shouldn't be hurting black people because it literally tells you not to.
Right.
Anyway.
No, pick and
I
choose
know
what you
logic.
want. Yeah.
They're like, Damien, that sounds like things are like one after another, like it makes sense or something. Don't expect us to do that. We're going to be Armin and go, I'm hearing all kinds of nonsense. I hear racism, but I see it as not racism. Yeah, Armin, that's because something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Or you're thinking.
Yeah.
This idea of transformation as a form of divine retribution or moral lesson is a thread that runs through many ancient cultures. In Greece, the myth of Lycaon serves as a stark example. Once a king, Lycaon's hubris led him to test Zeus by serving him a meal of human flesh. Enraged, the god transformed him into a wolf, forever cursed to roam the wilderness. This tale isn't just a warning against arrogance, it's a reflection of how ancient societies used shape-shifting to explain the consequences of human actions, often tying them to the natural world. But shape-shifting wasn't always about punishment. For many cultures, it was a way to understand the mysteries of the universe. Native American tribes, for instance, wove stories of skinwalkers, beings who could take on the forms of animals to harness their strength or cunning. These tales often served dual purposes, explaining the inexplicable and teaching lessons about the balance between humanity and nature. The Navajo, for example, saw skinwalkers as both a source of fear and a reminder of the power of transformation, both literal and symbolic. In these myths, shape-shifting becomes a metaphor for change itself, whether it's the cycles of the moon, the changing seasons, or the unpredictable nature of life. What's fascinating is how these ancient myths share common themes despite emerging from vastly different parts of the world.
Pause for a second. Right. And isn't that my thing? Oh, it's amazing. People put their brains with them and all have these similar beliefs. It's almost like it's culture.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, we can be done with that. I'm
Okay.
getting
Okay.
Because don't you feel that you kind of have a little bit of a loose idea of what we're talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. Because then we go to the blog, and the blog will have the tricksters, and right below it is shapeshifting. So that's why I wanted to address what this is. So you don't go like, well, I don't know how that relates to each other.
Right.
So go to the blog, and the first picture shows a bunch of tricksters. These aren't all of them, by the way. This is just a few to get shown.
Right.
People.
Yeah. It says the figure of the trickster is an archetype found in cultures the world over, from devious Loki to the dancing Kokopeli. Most societies have had, at some point, a deity associated with mischief, deceit, betrayal, and treachery. However, often these trickster gods have a purpose behind their troublemaking plans.
Right, like stealing to give the world sun.
Right.
So then the next picture is about birds, and I do think birds are definitely involved with tricksters. In fact, the Tlingit would totally agree with that. And anyways, the first bird on here is the one that was in Germany, and it's 43,000 to 33,000 years old.
Right.
And then there's ones in the Middle East doing stuff, including the 23,000 to 16,500 that has 3 legs, which there's 3 versions of the sun: the morning, the noon, and then the dusk sun or whatever.
Right.
So we've already talked about before. So, but anyways, I'm just trying to show you that we can look at and then number 5 is in Turkey.
Yep.
And you notice that it has a bird with 3 legs again. Oh, almost a theme. And then lightning under its wings, like a thunderbird.
Yep.
Anyways, Let's keep going.
Okay.
So the next one, to help you understand a little bit more about all this kind of stuff too, is to understand the earth, air, fire, and water, which I know you've probably heard about this, the world elements or whatever.
Yep.
This is all mythology thinking, but I think that in burial, you bury in the ground like an egg or whatever. There's the earth burial, then there's air, the bird or whatever, which we already know is a sort of a trickster animal, eats you and takes your soul to the heavens. And then fire, because the flames and the smoke go up to heaven. And also generally, like, this is stacked 7 high because that lets you go to heaven.
Okay.
You know, like the Christians did not invent this, the number 7 as being spiritual.
Right. Yeah.
Just like I told you, remember the pyramid in Mesopotamia, the step pyramid is 6 high and a temple on top. So 7. So 7 gets you to the gods, because that's where they believe the gods live, in that house.
Right.
So kind of similar to the stacking shamanistic idea of stacking wood 7 high when you burn something to send it to heaven. See how it's almost the same thinking.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, then the boatman takes you across the water, because remember, space is water.
Yep.
Anyways, so go ahead and read that real quick.
Classical elements typically refer to earth, air, fire, water, and later ether, which were proposed to explain the nature and complexity of all matter in terms of simpler substances. Ancient cultures in Greece, Tibet, and India had similar lists, sometimes referring in local languages to air as wind and the 5th element as void.
See, and then pause for a second. So, wait a minute. It's similar. Greece, Tibet, and India.
Yeah.
Because newsflash, the themes are similar.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, the structures don't matter as much to me, like what they exactly do. It's why they're building them. They're building because they're mounds of creation. And
Right.
the Axis Monday. And they all believe in the flat earth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like a one-off. It's like multiple things. And then, of course, they all believe the sky is water, and the underworld sometimes and generally water.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. And, you know, even Christians are like, oh, yeah, because you believe when you go under the water and you come back, you died and born again.
Yeah.
Almost like that's where the afterlife is. Oh, my God. Stop making it hurt. I know.
Yeah. It's funny that they can't make like the connection.
But like I told you, I don't feel bad. So even if like some archaeologists, like I told you before, my opinion, no one has to believe me. There's not some prerequisite believe
Right.
me. Evidence is how you get someone to believe you.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean also that let's say if an archaeologist said, I don't believe Damien, he's wrong, nothing's connected, you know, every myth was invented in its own culture. I'd be like, okay. But to me, I don't think it's right to attack them if they haven't done tons of study, because I know that I feel uncomfortable about things I don't know about.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Right. And so in going back to skepticism, which I'm a rationalist, I get to skepticism from a rational position that I don't know, and I better be careful with what I say I know.
Right. Yep.
So it was made a point. So even if Graham Hancock felt right that all the archaeologists are wrong, we don't see his stuff. You know how you'd prove it? Kind of like Damien did to the historian. Provide evidence that backs up your claims.
Yeah.
Or at least shows that they're reasonable, not like fucking wild speculation.
That's right. Yeah. Especially he said actively that there is no evidence for his claims. So
right. And you know how you get them just to believe otherwise? Evidence.
Yeah.
And then so let's just say they don't accept my evidence. Then you know what you need to get, Corey, to get him to better evidence. Oh, fuck, I know.
Go figure, eh?
Because once again, Corey, who has the burden of proof? Those making the claim, not the ones that are not making the claim. Anyways,
that's right.
I know that's crazy, but I feel like the whole thinking is wrong. Like, you're persecuting me for not believing my evidence or my claim. You know how you get them to better evidence?
Yeah.
For your claims.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so let's go to the next picture just real quick. Just shows you that there's at least 12,000 years of sky burial, what looks like sky burial evidence.
Right.
So the cultural practice, and it was also found at Stonehenge, sky burial thinking, probably, let's put it that way. So, and it was definitely all over the Middle East, not one place too. So it lasted thousands of years. So it was a massive big deal. I'm just making it something.
Right.
So I do think that tricksters might be related to this. Certainly the Valkyrie, the idea that birds take you to heaven,
Okay.
is a similar belief. And anyways, Native Americans did this. The Chinese, or not, Asians, that's just not Chinese, but Asian cultures did this. Middle East cultures did this. European cultures did this. Is a big deal. I don't know every single culture that did off the top of my head, but a lot is massively spread around, and it's old as hell.
Right.
So, anyways, I'm just saying. So that I think that once again, birds, right? So once again, it's animals. That's why I also had the bird picture. So then go down where it says what number of animals to non-animal trickster deities.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to. I didn't know. I just thought I'd ask. The AI. Hey, what does it? Does people know what it is?
Yeah. So then it says the nature of myth and oral traditions, with figures often changing forms or attributes across different cultures and eras, prevents a definitive tally. However, it is clear that many trickster figures can be sorted into one of these two broad categories, with notable animal trickster deities being Anansi in West Africa and the Caribbean, which is a well-known spider who is lazy, cunning, and impulsive. His stories were carried by enslaved people and became part of African American folklore. Coyote in Native American cultures, prominently featured in myths throughout North and Central America. Coyote is a powerful and sacred figure who is also greedy, lecherous, and foolish. Raven in Pacific Northwest, often appearing in Native American stories. The raven is a mischievous figure credited with stealing the sun and moon to bring light to the world. Sun Wukong in Chinese, the Monkey King from the epic novel Journey to the West. He is a mischievous trickster who defies heavenly authority. Reynard the Fox, European fables. The central figure in a cycle of medieval fables, Reynard is a devious and amoral trickster who outwits powerful authorities. Notable non-animal trickster deities. Loki, Norse, a cunning, shape-shifting god who can be a foe or benefactor to other gods. He famously engineered the battle of the god Balder. Hermes, Greek, the messenger of the gods. He is the patron of boundaries, travelers, and thieves. As an infant, he famously stole cattle from Apollo. Eshu, Yoruba, this spirit of chaos and trickery is the patron of roads, doors, and travel. He is often depicted causing quarrels and disputes with his antics. Prometheus, from the Greek, a titan who stole fire from the gods to give to humanity. He famously tricked Zeus over sacrifices. Maui, Polynesian, a culture hero known for his mischievous deeds, including pulling up islands from the seafloor with his magic hook. And,
pause for a second.
Yep.
Pulling up an earth from the water. Where
sounds like other
that?
Stuff. It sounds like something else we've heard. Yeah.
Didn't we bring that up at the beginning?
Yeah. And then we've got Pan from the Greek as a satyr or satyr. Pan is part human and part animal with the legs of a goat, the god of shepherds. He's often portrayed playing tricks on people.
All right. Then the next picture is shapeshifters, and it shows the dates. See the dates? You see why it's not unreasonable when I say 40,000?
Yep.
Right. So do you see? Go ahead and read the dates. So and
Sure.
tell us what you see. So you see a standing lion, could also be a bear, by the way.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's from Germany, and it's how old, Corey?
38,000 BCE.
Which, if you add 2,000 to 38, what does that come to?
That's about 40,000.
Damn it. It's almost like I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And then the next one's in France, and it is basically 37,000 years old. And then there's another one in France, which is 17,000 years old. Then there's another one, I think it's also from France, and it's 15,000 years old. And then this might be Spain or France, and it's 15 to 10. Oh no, it'd be 17 to 12. Excuse me.
Right.
And then I don't remember now. This could be either Spain or France. I should have probably put where they're.
That's almost certainly French.
Yeah, it's probably France. Anyways, it's 15,000 years old. Then another one, probably the same thing, France or something, but it's 17 to 12,000 years old. Then another one, I can't remember where this is at, but it's 12,000. And then the Spain is 12,000. And then Siberia, I don't know how old. And then the other one is the Native American. I should have put what these are, but anyway. Just to give you, but still, notice that they're all kind of similar, right?
Yeah.
And then the next picture is John Hoops. Hoops gave me this picture to use. He used it because when I started talking about shapeshifters, he's like, "Oh, I know about shapeshifters." I'm like, "Right on." He goes, "Here's a picture," and I was like, "That can I use that?" I'm going, "That's a great picture."
Yeah.
Because it's for South America and Central America, in a sense, and Southern North America to have this similar kind of stuff. But so don't need to go into it because we already talked about shapeshifting.
Right.
But let's read now. It says Trickster Tale to kind of give you a little bit of background on how to, because see, the reason why it's important is it's one thing we just heard like, oh, this crazy myth is about spiders and whatever. It doesn't give you like understanding it.
Yeah. So it says Trickster Tale in oral traditions worldwide, a story featuring a protagonist, often an anthropomorphized animal, who has magical powers and who is characterized as a compendium of opposites. Simultaneously, an omniscient creator and an innocent fool, a malicious destroyer and a childlike prankster, the trickster hero serves as a sort of folkloric scapegoat onto which are projected the fears, failures, and unattained ideals of the source culture.
Pause for a second. Oh, wait a minute. Wikipedia is agreeing with me too? Come on. It's got to be a cabal, huh?
Yeah.
A cabal to prove Damien right. It's just fucking culture. I would love it to be mental illness. It just isn't.
Yeah, that's right. Trickster stories may be told for amusement as well as on serious or sacred occasions. Depending on the context, either a single tale or a series of interrelated stories might be told. The typical tale recounts a picturesque adventure. The trickster is going along, encounters a situation to which he responds with knavery, stupidity, gluttony, or guile, or most often some combination of these, and meets a violent or ludicrous end. Often the trickster serves as a transformer and culture hero who creates order out of chaos.
Well, culture again?
Yep, that's right.
Dang it. Yeah.
He may teach the humans the skills of survival, such as how to make fire, procreate, or catch or raise food, usually through negative examples that end with his utter failure to accomplish these tasks. Frequently,
right, but let's pause for a second. So he's not teaching religion, is he?
No.
He's teaching culture. Survival skills, making fire, how to have sex and make babies, how to catch and raise food. Raise food means obviously, or raise food, right? So this isn't religion. It's culture.
This is
culture product used to transmit culture ideas.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It's sounding less and less like schizophrenia to me.
Yeah, no shit, eh?
But anyways, I'm not trying to also be mean to that person, just like I didn't do. No. Unlike Armin, did I give that person's name?
Nope.
Did I defame that person? No. I'm just saying I understand we have different thinking. It's just when you get informed like I do, you realize that's wrong. So, I mean, evidence just does not support that. But like I said, normally I wouldn't even bring up Armin's name either. I would just talk about this jerk that says these things. It's just that he's made himself public like this.
Yeah.
And he's also in our movement, or at least, somewhat our movement, because we're not, I don't want to say that we're totally in the movement. Or
No,
even they totally,
I'm for
they
sure
want
not.
us to be in the movement.
Yeah. I know.
Because if
they
they wanted you and me to be in the movement, wouldn't we be both more famous in the movement? And we both are not.
Yeah.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Not just you, me too. I'm not more famous than I should be fucking famous as hell in our movement.
Yeah.
Not, because they really don't. And it's not because I'm not good at philosophy, which I am. I'm not because I'm not good on science stuff, which I am. I'm not good on mythology or archaeology or anthropology or psychology, because I am. It's really, I think, the other reason. Both of us are anarchist socialists, or you're a communist, anarchist communist, which I'm also, by the way, very close to. So whatever.
Yeah.
We're both anarcho-communists almost.
Yeah.
You just more than me, but still, I don't feel uncomfortable being. If I had to live in the world you want, I would be fine with that too.
Right.
Oh, let me tell you something real quick. If the choice was this shit now or Corey's world, man, bring on the communism.
Right, eh? No, it's because we don't confirm their status quo biases, right?
Right. I 100% think it's because we're anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
That absolutely makes us unappealing. Because just think, there's two camps in a sense to them. They're wrong, but
Right.
It's the right and the right. Right. It's the right and the far right,
Yeah.
the moderate right and the far right, And so we're like, yeah, you're both the right. You need liberal, right? And far right. So Nazis and Nazi enablers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So, speaking of which, I am grossed out that any one Democrat decided to go with in the House or what Senate, whatever it was, and say Charlie Cook should be honored as a hero or whatever.
Right.
You're gross. All of you, to me personally, should be fucking out. That would be the litmus test. Oh, you voted for him to be a fucking respected figure? You need to go, because I got to start that we're on the same morality, or even fucking close. No.
Yeah, the rehabilitation of Charlie Kirk has been one of the most bizarre things
and
gross things of the year so far. Like, it's just wild. Like, I can't, like, it's just a denial of reality, all in favor of whatever is going on right now.
And then Gavin Newsom comes on and goes, yeah, actually, he did a really good thing that the Democrats should follow. Look at how he got to all these young men and talked to them. And I'm like, that's like going, well, the KKK has gotten to a lot of white men.
Right.
We really need to, or white people, we need to take that model or respect it in any fucking way. And also, to me, it's vile as fuck. There's plenty of black people you could point to, or Hispanic, or Asian, or even white. Yeah. That don't have that bullshit and also care and have done a lot for the world or whatever. Like, anyways,
Yeah.
It's so fucking. I agree with you. It's so fucking bizarre to me, because I try to live an ethical life and I just go,
yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like you're trying to be an ethical person who cares about the truth, and you just see like the entire world go the other direction, and you're like, well, what is even happening here? Like, how am I supposed to respond to this? Except apparently, just say the truth.
And then we're not okay with that, Corey. That's like I said, why we're not in the atheist movement. We're too extreme.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Right. We're too extreme. We have ethical standards. Whoa, that's extreme.
And evidence-based standards. Like, I have a standard of evidence for it.
Like, I think we spent most of this video and almost all my videos and a lot of yours too about evidence.
Yeah, like, it's just like, it's the truth is right in front of our faces. And
when it's not, then we should respect voices that use evidence to show us the truth.
That's right. Yeah, that's
not
right.
Ones that just go, well, the more I look at it, Charlie Cook, see, I feel the opposite, actually. I knew he was bad. Never really looked into him. The more I looked into him, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
He's worse than I thought. Not better. And Armin's opinion, oh, yeah, I did research it. Now I like him more. Well, for me, exact opposite. I thought bad dude, but didn't really know. Looked into him, he's fucking terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I've been semi following Charlie Kirk for years. Like I've known who he was for a long time. And I've always been paying attention to the things that he says, and it's always been bad. And, and I'm supposed to pretend that isn't true now. Like,
yeah, well, I can't say that because, in general, anybody who's a politician, even like ones that like Democrats or even ones that are sort of like socials, truly, Corey, I don't.
Yeah.
Go back. What does Damien really want to do? Nothing. So extra stuff. No.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. So some people are like, well, how could you not know, Damien? Did you hear how I like to live my life? Is actually just relaxed and being happy. I mean, I don't like reading. I don't like fucking doing games. I don't own a game thing. I haven't owned a game thing my whole life. Never played games. It's not. I mean, I've tried to get into doing poker, or something, but I didn't really like it. It's just it's just not my personality. Like I said.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes people think, oh, you don't know that, dude. Is it about fucking religion 4,000 years or older? No.
Right.
See, don't know about it.
Yeah, it's one of these things like you have prehistory that you've studied for a long time, and you do it through like a compulsion to know the truth about religion, and that's in a similar way. I had a very small version of that for the far right. So I have a lot of information about the far right and some of their pundits and belief systems in my head, and the people who talk about it, and that's how I know about Charlie Kirk, right?
Right. And I would also like to add to that. I respect you, and I've told people before, I value Corey for doing that. I certainly don't want to be the one to do it.
And there's people who go way deeper, and I don't want to be those people. I don't want to have to
hear you start
that.
shouting facts and names and this and that and politicians. I'm like, oh,
there's a couple podcasts I listen to where people they spend time undercover in right-wing groups to get and I could not do that. I could not.
I can't even listen to a full video of Armin bullshit. He just starts saying, I'm like, I'm getting angry. Turn it off.
Gotta turn it off. Yeah.
And because I also feel this, if you, the listener to us talking, aren't also convinced with that's enough, then I don't believe there's enough.
Yeah.
I could do to convince you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that didn't bother you morally. You need to go get some help.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let's skip. We don't need to read everything because I don't want to spend all fucking day. There's all kinds of things, and also like Berber Rabbit, which people have done. It has to do with underdogs, because like underdogs to me is the shamanistic part. Anyways, so blah 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 blah. Then let's go down to where it says trickster figure.
Trickster figure.
Because the other one was about why they do the mythology kind of,
Yep. Okay, so trickster figure. In mythology and the study of folklore and religion, a trickster is a character in a story, god, goddess, spirit, human, or anthropomorphization, who exhibits a great degree of intellect or secret knowledge and uses it to play tricks on or otherwise disobey normal rules and defy conventional behavior. Tricksters, as archetypal characters, appear in the myths of many different cultures. Lewis Hyde describes the trickster as a boundary crosser. The trickster crosses and often breaks both physical and societal rules. Tricksters violate principles of social and natural order, playfully disrupting normal life and then reestablishing it on a new basis. Often this bending and breaking of rules takes the forms of trickery and thievery. Tricksters can be cunning, foolish, or both. The trickster openly questions, disrupts, and mocks authority. Many cultures have tales of the trickster, a crafty being who uses tricks to get food, steal precious possessions, or simply cause mischief.
By the way, just so people understand, I love the fact of attacking authority. That literally is cool as fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, yeah, man. They always go like, "What, Damien? If you have to believe in the God, what'd you be?" Like I told you, it'd be a Tulliary because they're about caring. But if it wasn't the caring one, it would certainly be the defying authority one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like I like a lot of this. I mean, obviously, I'm not a big fan of like playing tricks on people or thievery, but like I love crossing boundaries. I love the
Right.
idea that rules are meant to be broken. Like-
And it's also to go against authority.
yeah,
So
which
yeah,
is
I mean,
yeah,
hierarchy, it's like go
Yeah.
go against hierarchy, challenge
That's
hierarchy.
right.
I'm like, sorry, that does sound kind of good.
because sometimes the principles of social and natural order are like pretty restrictive and oppressive and imposed by hierarchy or authority, right?
Yeah, right, yeah. And to me, I feel, and I know probably other anarchists probably somewhat do also, but I really feel like the major problem, some people say, oh, the major problem is capitalism. Like, it's hierarchy. Because see, if you take out, I tried to explain this to an ANCAP. There was two different ones I argued with this week. Like, what the fuck are these fuckers coming from? I guess Charlie Kirk lovers or whatever, but two of them I argued with, and the one was somewhat reasonable. He basically I told him, you are not an anarchist. Don't you see? You are the far right. That would be, just think of this for a second yourself, okay, and how I see it. It would be like saying a far left communist and the far right Nazis are the same. They fucking are not.
Exactly.
And to say like somehow, because he goes, we should all still get along. We're all anarchists. I'm like, you're not an anarchist. An anarchist doesn't support authority.
Yeah.
So and hierarchy, what the fuck? And he's like, well, and the other one. So I kind of got him to, he goes, because I said, dude, you're just an American libertarian, which is actually just a far rightist that doesn't like fucking rules. Sort of. I mean, that's it, dude. Nothing fucking special or good.
So
anyways,
don't use the word anarchist anymore, please.
So I actually have to give it to him. He sounded like because he goes, okay, so I'm kind of like a libertarian. I guess I can agree with that. Yeah, because you are.
Yeah.
So and libertarian is a bastardization of that word too, because it should be that means anarchist, and you're not. So
yeah, like we've already given up that word, but I'm not giving up anarchist.
Yeah, no, fuck no. You're gonna give it up. It's gonna be.
That's right.
So, but I thought it was helpful because I saw, because some before said that I'm too mean to anarcho-capitalists because I just thought, fuck, you're wrong.
Yeah,
I don't even give them much fucking quarter, man. Fuck you. You're wrong. You're thinking stupid. There's no fucking such thing as a fucking capitalist. And I try to explain, capitalist has to have hierarchy. It's inherent in what it. The problem is, I know it's because they're thinking too simply. Oh, I just sell and trade, and I'm like, okay, then be an agorist. An agorist is still a fucking anarchist,
right?
I don't agree with a lot of shit they say, but at least they don't agree with authority.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
No. Anyways, I don't want to go into all that because that's explaining different kinds of anarchism. But and also they're centrist to me, so they're almost not anarchists themselves. Right. Same with the anarcho-nihilist. You're almost not an anarchist, but you are. Yeah. So I won't lie and say you're not.
Or at least the ones you encounter online are like.
Well, I've never encountered. To me, their ideology is centrist. They call themselves post-left. So I'm not, somehow mishandling their concept.
Bizarre idea.
You call yourself not leftist, and then I say you're a centrist. That is a not leftist.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't want to go into all that, but my point is saying though is with the anarcho-capitalist. So the anarcho-capitalist and other person was really trying to go on this and that. And you guys are stupid, the Armin fucking thing, calling us morons and shit and all this shit. And so he goes, "Oh, explain it so I understand it." So I gave him 4 memes that showed like the hierarchy of capitalism. And I go, here's some pictures because obviously you need to have like displays.
Right.
Like, oh, you just got some random pictures. That doesn't teach me anything. I'm thinking, then you're dumb because pictures are a pretty easy way to learn. But but I said, okay, fine. And I explained capitalism is inherently hierarchy because it has owners of the means of production and of the distribution and of the wage labor and of your rights, your things, Can they not kick you, fire you for what you post? Oh, then you don't own your fucking self. So wait a minute. Did I post it during work? No, but afterward. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not at work. You're now you say that capitalists own my fucking life?
Yep.
anyways, but not to go, because we can go on and all kinds of different things explain how they're wrong. But my point was, I'm just saying that people use these words and
Yeah.
ridiculous. I'm like, I know what an anarchist is. Let's start with, we don't accept hierarchy of any kind. And that's why I always tell them when they go, well, what do you feel about rich people? My anarchism does not like hierarchy. Billionaires are inherently extremely top of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
How the fuck would I like that? No. I mean, I personally feel, as I already told you, I don't think anyone should be a millionaire. So,
right.
Simple.
Yeah.
I mean, don't they all want us to be in poverty? So it's wrong somehow that I don't want them to be rich?
Yeah, exactly.
What the? Oh, fuck. Who is more unethical? Let's see. The few or the many? Well, ethically, it would be the many, right?
Yeah.
Value-wise. Well, that means that, no, I cannot accept the few having billions. I literally think it's atrocious as shit.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So anyways, but let's go back to the trickster figure.
Right. Yeah. In some Greek myths, Hermes plays the trickster. He is the patron of thieves and the inventor of lying, a gift he passed on to Autolycus, who in turn passed it on to Odysseus. In Slavic folktales, the trickster and the culture hero are often combined. Frequently, the trickster figure exhibits gender and form variability. In Norse mythology, the mischief maker is Loki, who is also a shapeshifter. Loki also exhibits sex variability, in one case even becoming pregnant, according to the Song of Hyndla.
Wait a minute now. So all those people that are Nordic believers that are racist, sexist, homophobes, that's not even accurate to your paganism.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Like, you're the one you say believe in paganism. No, you don't. You believe in bigotry and you want to wrap it in paganism. You know, kind of like Christian nationalists do. Which to me, I always look at Christian nationalists and I go, you are a pseudo-Christianity.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even to me an issue that they can even debate.
No.
Excuse me, Jesus said it is harder for a rich man to go through an eye of a needle, or no, a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich man to go to heaven.
Yeah.
Right. So, and let's see, what was the only act of violence that Jesus is said to have done? Oh, it was actually money changers and thieves and money lenders or whatever it was gambling inside the temple. So rich people doing crime.
Yep. And like usury used to be against the rules of the religion, right? Which is interest, bank lending.
Right. Correct. Exactly. So no. When you say you're a Christian nationalist, I can just go, you're not even a Christian.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I've been really getting more into the nationalism is the real belief system.
I totally agree. Just like I said, the same thing with the Viking. You don't really care about the Viking myths as a pagan,
right? Who's
also a Nazi. You're just a Nazi.
You're just a Nazi, and now you're using all this other stuff to dress it up.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Do not blame Norse myths for your fucking homophobia when Norse myths were not homophobic.
That's right. Yeah.
Fucking what the fuck?
Get the hell out of here.
Well, you get what I'm trying to say. All this is related. That's why I told you before. I really feel like people try to separate religion and, especially obviously in the atheist movement, and politics, or at least anarchists.
Right.
When actually, this is real important. This stuff, I feel, also helps us see that why it's bigotry.
Yeah.
Because the truth doesn't match that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
All right. I don't want to read all this too much, blah, 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 whatever. Then you see here, I'm not going to have you read them, but there's a big, long list of all these different trickster deities.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a few. And then Loki, I don't want to read about that. And then the Monkey King, blah, blah, and the other. I don't want to read about all these.
Okay.
I just... Good. Well, because if you want to read all this stuff, and I think you should go to the blog and read all the stuff that is in here.
Yep.
So I'm not going to do it all for you.
And some of it we have touched, like not
Yes, we
specifically,
have. It's not
but
like
we've touched on it in other ones. Yeah.
right. Well, because I'm constantly doing that. So let's read that down where it's. I know it's good. I got to go quite a ways down, but go down where it says Trickster, Gods and Goddesses, because we're gonna pretty much read that and then pretty much I'll be done.
Okay, I'm wondering.
But like I said, you know, if you want to learn about a specific deity or thing, my show is not that. My show is to try to, or our show is to try to give you the big picture and how it relates to things, so you can understand religion. Not a specific deity we focus on. But you know, like I said, my goal is not when you leave my videos go, man, I know all about Loki. Yeah, I don't really care. I care that you know about the concept.
Right. If you want to learn about the specifics, go and learn about the specifics.
Yeah, go yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So trickster gods and goddesses. The trickster gods and goddesses are famous in different religions and mythology all around the world. People believe in these gods and goddesses and their special abilities and powers which they possessed. Trickster gods belong to various countries and religions as they hold control over the minds of the local people. They were known for their ill doings, treachery, deceit, and many other things. The trickster gods and goddesses are found in various archetypes and cultures all around the world. From the dangerous Loki to the dancing Kokopili, almost all societies have seen or heard at some point in time a deity who was associated with deceit, mischief, treachery, and betrayal. But history has seen that all these troubles, making deities and tricksters, always had a purpose behind their troublemaking, plans, and notorious behavior. Their depictions and notorious crimes are listed in various historical texts and mythological sources that are present in different places all around the world. The trickster is a common stock character in folklore and popular culture. A clever, mischievous person or creature, the trickster achieves goals through the use of trickery. A trickster may trick others simply for amusement or for survival in a dangerous world. The trickster could be a personification of the chaos that the world needs to function. An typical example is the simple peasant successfully put to the test by a king who wishes a suitable suitor for his daughter. In this fairy tale, no brave and valiant prince or knight succeeds. Aided only by his natural wit, the peasant evades danger and triumphs over monsters and villains without fighting. Thus, the most unlikely candidate passes the trials and receives the prize. Such characters. Oh, you were going to say something?
I was going to say, do you hear why you also need to know that the shamanism relates to that? Because then you start understanding religion.
Right,
not just
right.
Myth, not just one myth, but all of them.
Such characters are a staple of animated cartoons, in particular those used and developed by Tex Avery et al. During the golden age of American animation.
Right, you don't need to read all the stuff, but just read the next thing because it gives like a little bit.
The Hines and Doty in Mythical Trickster Figures, 1997, state that every trickster has several of the following 6 traits. 1, they're fundamentally ambiguous and anomalous. 2, they're deceiver and trick player. 3, shapeshifter or master of disguise. 4, situation inverter. 5, messenger and imitator of the gods. And 6, sacred and lewd bricolier.
Right, and that's all I really wanted to do is just give the snapshot. So now when you hear about trickster deities, do you feel like, or what have you feel like you've learned since, or how much did you know? Because I don't know how much you know.
Well, I think everybody kind of knows about Loki, right? But they may not know, kind of like you say, like the shamanistic kind of idea behind some of that stuff, where like
Right.
it was like it wasn't the strong character, it was
not the
weaker
warrior.
character. Yeah, it's like the often in many cases like kind of like the outcast who's slightly different,
Right.
Which is a lot of people might not realize that. I don't think I really did. But it makes sense when you think about like even just the Loki character. I didn't quite realize that there was so many. I did know about like Anansi or like
Right.
various other ones, like the coyote or whatever,
Right.
but there's a lot of them that I didn't know.
Well, right. And just think, and people think that they know, especially atheists, they over opinion of themselves understanding religion. I understand religion. I'm like,
Yeah.
I doubt that I'm real skeptical whenever I hear people say, especially atheists, most of them, because they have what they do is they start from, in general, to me, one of two religions generally.
Mm-hmm.
It could be also, maybe four as a general, outliers, the Jewish and the Hindu or something. But the majority, really, it's anti-Christian thinking, and then it's a little bit of anti-Muslim thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and then they also get to Jews if they have time, and then maybe get to Hindu.
Right.
But I'm just saying, and I'm not, trying to put atheists down. I'm just stating the fact, and it's
Right.
kind of embarrassing to me. Like,
It-
I know religion, and they're like, well, how much you know? I read the Bible, and, so you know nothing. Okay, got it.
In a sense, it makes sense for people who came out of a Christian culture to be against that culture and like when they learn that it's not true,
Right.
and but then they also extrapolate those conclusions to a broader thing that they don't know about.
Right. Like I went to the convention recently in Florida, and they had a speaker that goes, oh, there used to be people believed in many gods, and then only one God, and then eventually it'll be none. And I'm like, no one believes in only one God now as a general rule. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
They definitely at least believe in two, right?
like, what the fuck? No. And they also believe in many other supernatural beings like angels and fucking demons. And
Yep.
so, no, there's absolutely not just, I understand deity, but also isn't Satan almost like a deity?
Yep. Yep.
Anyways, but even if let's just say that, is everyone in the world just monotheist? No.
No, it's just not.
That's not true.
Yeah.
So I feel it's like a completely limited worldview. A lot of atheists do, and then they say it with such confidence.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like,
it's. I mean, I guess I can relate to it because I also was in that
I
boat.
I can understand. Like I said, I used to be a Christian. I can understand just hating Christians. And certainly, then they're trying to take over our country, in America and other places too.
Yep.
And they're pushing bullshit and okay. But that's not all. So don't say religion. Just say I know about Christianity and Muslims or whatever.
Right.
You don't know about religion.
Yeah, that's right.
So at least, whenever I hear people talk too confident about that kind of stuff, I always think, you've never watched one of my videos.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because I'm not sure how you kept with such confidence after watching mine, because I like to put a lot of evidence. And there's also blogs for all my stuff, so you can go look, and there's more evidence and links.
Yeah,
And,
that's right.
So, but anyways, I appreciate you, taking the time to do this, because I really want, my goal is that people don't fall for this shit no more. And also I feel, especially atheists, if your goal is to help people remove religion, you yourself need to know what religion is. So when you talk to people, you don't sound stupid, because they go to a fucking Hindu and talk about Jesus, they could give a fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Native American, don't believe your Native American beliefs. And they're like, well, do you even know what they are or whatever? And like, well, I know Jesus. And like, boy, that's going to fucking convince somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, just refuting one religion doesn't refute them all in that sense, right?
No. Right. And if they want to refute them and don't want to do research, just watch our videos.
Yeah.
Then you're done right there. You know more fucking shit than you ever could know.
And if you want to know more, Damien has
go read the blog or look at click all the
right.
links and
Yep.
whatever. Yeah.
That's right.
Right. So I'm not saying, and there's other sources too, because I agree with most of the mythology thinkers. I mean,
Right.
I don't agree that mythology is true. I agree that a lot of the people that are trying to explain it correctly is what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, because there's people who like actually study mythology, not from like the believer's perspective.
Right. They may be a believer, but they do it kind of almost scientifically in how they approach religion. But like I told you at the beginning of all this series, was the comparative religion, which is what I feel like very few atheists act like they understand comparative religion. Or like I was saying too, like historian, they're looking at it as buildings, and I'm talking about mythology. Don't care how the buildings were built. Well, I understand too. They're used to debating, in a sense. People that believe in pseudoscience talk about aliens building it, or that white people built it, or whatever. Right. And I'm like, they're similar. They're not like mythology. They are.
Now hold on. I'm not one of these cranks.
No. I think that the culture there built it. I'm just saying one of the motivations or the things that relate to that motivation is mythology. That is kind of similar.
Yeah, that's right. Which I think is, because it's a reasonable claim. they often end up, like you say, like agreeing with you and
saying, "Oh, okay, yeah."
So,
right, well, exactly. Not like Graham Hancock, where they don't agree, and then he shows them stuff, and they go, "That's not evidence," and he goes, "Yes, it is," and he gives them more not evidence. Like that actually has been debunked.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, and then he's like, "Oh, well, you can't debunk stuff that I think is true or fits my thinking."
Yeah, for sure.
Corey goes, "Yeah, actually, that's not how you convince a person that thinks." Sorry.
Nope. Like you say, it'll convince maybe some people who want to believe what you're saying already.
Right. Like they already believe the Bible's true. So you talk about flat Earth and the Bible. Well, somehow that has to be true because the Bible said it. So it talked about it talked about a square planet, because that, which actually to me relates to the pyramids, I think.
Okay.
And relates to China, which I'm also going to talk about, because they believe in the square Earth and the round heaven. Well, so does the Bible, because the Bible says the four corners of the world. Wouldn't that be a square?
Yep.
But not only is it a flat Earth, it's a square flat Earth.
Yeah, that's right. It's not a disc.
What the?
Yeah.
Anyways, so, but I appreciate it. So, and did you feel like you found something that was interesting or learned or?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I do actually. I really like the trickster gods. I find them very interesting. I find that the existence of them throughout various cultures, I find that really interesting. And I think it's cool stuff.
Right on. And so, speaking of cool stuff, and also, I think you do cool stuff when you talk about capitalism and anarchism and socialism and the far right. I care that someone's debunking the far right. Believe me, I just don't want to be the person to read all that shit.
Right? Yeah. No, there's lots of people who do really good work out there, and I have a couple of them on my show every now and then. So I've got 3 really great interviews coming up over the next while. I've been talking to my buddy Owen McDonald quite a bit. So we've got a new episode of our conversations coming out here in a week or so, or no, a couple days, even a few days. And I've got, of course, Loose Wires. We stream every second Tuesday. We talk about current events and news from an anarcho-capitalist or anarcho-capitalist.
Okay, so Corey's no longer on Damien's show.
An anarcho-communist perspective.
Oh, yeah. If you said you're an anarcho-capitalist, I would be like, okay, I guess you need to find someone else, because I'm not dealing with that shit.
I guess we don't agree anymore. Something changed.
Holy fuck. I thought you had a fucking brain in your head. It sound like it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, and now I've got my friend Nick on there, and my friend Ancom Psycom on there. We talk about, like I say, this last Tuesday we talked about quite a few things. We did talk about Charlie Kirk a little bit, but I don't think we spent very much time on him, because I really don't. I don't like talking about him anymore. It's done. Like, I hope this goes away. So
Well, yeah, me too. That's why I didn't want to make our whole show about that either.
yeah,
Because if I really felt it was a problem, I would put my like we did before about the Israeli and the Palestinian the Palestinian genocide happening from Israel,
yeah,
or when the Israel got a massacre. That kind of shit is too. I have to fucking make a show about it to
yeah,
me
yeah.
because I fucking care about the world. But
Yeah.
this wasn't that level.
No, it's just a dude.
A shitty dude died. I don't support doing that, but he was a shitty dude, so I don't feel fuck all for that dude.
Just a shitty dude. Let's stop.
Let's not spend any more time. But also, like I said, I probably also really would have just not talked about it. But then Armin coming out and fucking defending him.
Yeah. Well, and it's unfortunate that like so much of the world is talking about him and they're reframing it in a false way, and so it does have to be addressed, right? So
right, and that is very important to me to do that. So I'm just saying it wasn't. I agree with you. It wasn't the level that I needed to make a whole show at it, but yeah. I felt I had to fucking address it, especially when that guy's saying stuff. What? So go ahead and tell people where to find you in case they don't already know, and they can go follow you in your Patreon and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you can find everything on Linktree/Skeptical-Leftist. Or I guess if you want to type it out, it's linktr.ee/Skeptical-Leftist. But that's basically where you can find absolutely everything, including my Twitch, my YouTube, my podcast, and all my social media.
So. Right on. Okay, well, that's it for me, and everyone take care.
Right on.
Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Damien Marie AtHope. In the simplest terms, I am an atheist-humanist philosopher and prehistorical writer-researcher at DamienMarieAtHope.com. I am specifically an axiological atheist. An axiological atheism can be thought to involve ethical and value theory reasoned and moral argument driven apatheism, agnosticism, atheism, anti-theism, anti-religionism, secularism, and humanism. Axiological atheists can be understood as a value theory or a value science atheist. As an axiological atheism's ethically reasoned and constructive pro-humanity. I am an axiological thinker, value theorist. The science of goodness, worthiness, usefulness, valuableness, virtue, reliableness, accuracy, validity, morality, integrity, beneficialness, etc., etc. We axiologists have a value consciousness. And in general, we see the architecture of humanistic humanitarianism value in people that we see as dignity beings. Places and things are not. Axiology is a value theory. In its broadest sense, it involves areas of philosophy that are deemed to encompass some evaluative or evaluation aspect. Therefore, it crosses almost all domains in some way or another. Now for a more detailed terms as to what I am. I am an axiological atheist, an anti-theist, an anti-religionist, secularist, humanist, rationalist, writer, artist, poet, philosopher, advocate, activist with schooling in psychology, sociology, as well as I am an autodidact, self-taught in science, archaeology, anthropology, and philosophy. I promote science and am against pseudoscience, pseudohistory, pseudomorality, things that are found in religion.